All righty, everybody, we're live here.
Hey, everybody, Jay and Ashley Nelson. Welcome to our podcast. Jashley's married to a realtor. We are actually both realtors, but we interview. Some people are both realtors in the couple, some just one. But we are totally in love, so much in love. You know how when you're on, watching Zoom and you're like, oh, what are they wearing? Do they have pants on? Well, we're so in love that I have my heart pajama pants.
Yay! Late night pajama pants. So, guys, we're pumped tonight. We got two of the most dynamic people to interview about their being married. They're both realtors, very successful, work in multiple states. They work in Tennessee. They work in Georgia, and they're awesome people. They're a lot of fun. So, Ashley, with no further ado, bring on Aaron and Christy Dwyer. Guys, how are y'all tonight?
What's up?
We're
doing
good.
great.
How are you?
Y'all look great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We didn't wear pants for this one, so
I woke up like this.
I'm glad Ashley put her pants on.
Right? At least somebody in the house has pants on.
But you did have a random sock on your table a minute ago, right?
We did have a random sock.
It's over here somewhere.
What is? You got to explain. Where did
the
that
realtor
sock,
table?
What is that all about, Christy?
So
I'm gonna give you a synopsis of the last 15 minutes. So the last 15 minutes before this, we had blackjack at the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
We had dinner getting cooked. We had two adult children show up for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
We had her in the back finishing up a deal on the phone.
Yep.
2 deals on the phone.
Yep.
And then cleaning off the table, trying to get a space where we could have this call so people wouldn't think we were absolute hoarders. And I guess we missed a sock. So
I don't know about the hoarders part.
there's a little hole. We have a little hole here.
And that is the 15 minutes of Married to a Realtor.
It's
legit.
One thing that I always say, guys, and I'll dive right in here. You guys, you're doing real estate in multiple states. One of the things is there's nothing. Real estate's so spontaneous that you can be in the middle of things going on, and a call comes in or an emergency, and the how do you guys deal with that?
Can we pause 1 second? Okay, we're going to go to that question next.
Okay.
Because first we do need to say, how long have you both been in real estate?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
You forgot the intro.
Well,
Jay's we've
like,
never met.
Get in there. Let's dive in.
Didn't you tell us we were supposed to act like we've never met? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to read that part of the script? My bad.
Go ahead.
Don't ask me for a script. I don't even know what a script is.
Right.
Yeah. Tell us how you guys got into real estate. How long have you been doing it?
How long have you been in real estate?
So I've been in real estate. So I started in real estate in Georgia officially in real estate, other than like selling my own houses and that kind of stuff, in 2005 in Hartwell, Georgia. And in 2006,
That was 2006.
What was 2006?
I guess
That's when I started.
Oh, you were 2006. Yeah. And then I opened my first office in 2006 in Hartwell. Yep.
Very
And
cool.
and I started in 06 in Nashville. So Nashville, Tennessee, actually Brentwood's where I started, and I started in 06 and did it part-time for most of that time. And I jumped in full-time, I think, in 17. So we've been licensed for a long time.
And then how long have you two been married?
So we
Forever.
got married. Everybody thinks that we've been married forever.
They really do think that.
They really do think that.
Yeah.
But we actually got married February the 20th of 2020. 2/20/2020.
Um,
So
Congrats.
we've
Y'all
been married
kinda
for a year and a half.
newlyweds.
I remember
Kinda.
listening to that actually.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
it was super, super fun.
Mhm.
And things were it was kind of time. And so a funnier story. Talk about being spontaneous. So we had a whole
This is
plan.
funny.
We had a whole plan.
This is talking about living with a realtor.
This is it. This is the epitome.
I don't know that you're going to get a story that's going to top this one.
This is pretty good.
Wait, I need him.
She's so
I'm
much better at
hesitating
stories.
on whether or not I let him tell the story because we know he's going to mess it up.
I'm
And I'm
not
going
gonna
to have to
mess it
step
up.
in and fix
But
it.
yeah.
You know.
But in- but in-
I'll tell my part. I'll tell my part, and then she can jump in.
I'll probably have to correct this part too.
I'm certain she
we're
will.
going to go with it.
So we had a plan, right? So there was we love numbers, right? So we love numbers and repeating numbers and things like that.
Yeah.
And so we'd had a plan to do it on a certain day. And so a couple of other things happened on that day.
Like somebody else got married on that same day, and we said, "Nope, ain't gonna happen
Sorry.
today."
Not that day. So So then that turned into life.
That's how spontaneous we are. We can change a wedding date just like that.
And of course, all of our kids wanted us to get married. And they're like, "Are y'all going to have a wedding? And who's going to be invited?" And we're like, "If you're with us when we decide, you'll be there. If not, you're not." So
whoever's in the car with us when we decide
They're
it's
gonna be
time, that's who will be at the wedding.
and I swear to y'all, I cannot tell this story as good as she tells it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take over
All
from
right,
here.
go ahead.
So
Okay.
we're leaving Georgia because when people ask us where do we live, so we've got 3 houses. We've got a house up in Hartwell, up in the top northeast corner of Georgia. Then we've got a house down at Lake Oconee, down in Cuscahuilla, and then in Mount Juliet outside of Nashville.
Yeah.
So we're 3
We live in our
and at
car.
any given point, we may or may not be at any of these places. Okay.
Very
So-
similar to us.
Do what?
Y'all are very similar to us.
Hey, we should split a plane.
We really should. We should talk about that after the call. So we're driving from Lake Oconee. We had been in a meeting. We had a meeting that morning. We were leaving to go to get to Nashville to
Gallatin.
get to Gallatin for his son's
It was a Christmas event.
No, what was Christmas? Because it was when did we get married? We
That's
got married in February.
My bad. See,
So-
that's why I don't tell stories.
See, I told you, I knew he would mess it up. He's like, it's a Christmas plate. No, it wasn't. So anyway, so we're driving, and I'm like, I have an idea. Why don't we go and stop at the courthouse and get our marriage license on our way out? Right on our way out.
Wow.
And so we stopped. We're okay, perfect. So we're driving to the courthouse, and it's raining. Okay, so because it just so happened that we had our passports with us, and the timing was perfect. Okay, so we pull into the courthouse. So on the way there, as we said, okay, we'll stop and we'll get our marriage license. On the way there, we're following this black van that says coroner. The tag says coroner. It literally is the coroner. And I said to him, I said, I promise you, if this marriage don't work out, one of those is going to be involved.
Oh my God.
So you can take it as a warning. This is an omen.
However
that
you
we're
want to take
literally
it.
headed to
However you want to
our
take
house.
it.
Oh, really? Just on the fly?
You
Went
know.
and got married?
Oh,
like that?
no,
wait, hold
you're
on.
not done.
Oh, but wait,
That-
there's more.
No, but wait, there's more.
So we get to the courthouse. I called and said, hey, our timing is really we're never, the odds of us actually getting married within 30 days of us getting this marriage license, which is how long you got to get it within 30 days,
Slim
is slim to none. Okay. I mean, really the odds of us doing this. So can someone just marry us while we're there? Is there someone there? And she's like, you kind of have to make an appointment for it. And so you know what, forget it. Can I bring you some lunch? I know it's almost lunchtime. I'll be happy to, I have no problem sweetening the deal. So we get there and we're sitting there talking to them, and I just keep pushing on and on and on. And it was kind of funny because then, they ask you the questions about all the questions when you're filling out the certificate, what do you identify at? The things they do today. And so we're already got these people in stitches, right? So we're just being us and cutting up, and we keep talking about, so this is the life of a realtor, because we have an 11-year-old that you can't see right back there that's literally doing this right here to us,
11-year-old.
wanting us to make eye contact. Please don't catch the house on fire. Seriously. So he's wanting to light a candle. So finally this woman walks up behind us and she says,
we're laughing. I mean, and
we're laughing,
we have the
cutting
clerks cutting up in the
begging,
they're
are you
dying.
sure we can't get married today? And she walks up and this lady behind us walks up and says, so is there something significant about today? And we're like, other than the fact that we're here, and it is a great date, like 2/20/2020. We're all about some numbers. And I turned around and looked at her and I said, and I bet you're the one that can make that happen, aren't you? And she said, I am. And I said, fantastic. And she said, she told the clerk, she said, go ahead and prepare the paperwork. I'll go ahead.
Wow.
Wow.
So we walk in there. We don't have rings.
Nothing.
We don't have nothing.
We don't have anything. We walk in
That
there.
candle needs to stay in the kitchen, by the way. That doesn't leave the kitchen. So it was hysterical. Yeah, we do. Mom, Ashley, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're like,
See what you're
you know,
doing. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
You're still managing all these kids.
man,
How many
no.
kids do you guys have?
Whoa, hang on a second. So I wanted you to ask this question because
You really
I did do my research, and
we
I
are
watched
competitive too, by the way.
I watched
We're very
the previous
competitive in
episode,
nature.
and I saw that there were some other folks from Orlando that had 6 kids, and I was like, 6 kids.
How many
But then-
kids do y'all
hang on,
have?
But hang on. But then they said they all under 7. I mean, ooh,
Yeah.
you got me on that one. You got me on that one.
Yeah.
We have
Bless their
9.
souls.
We have 9 9 between.
9?
9.
Oh my
Wow. What are the age
gosh.
ranges?
26 to 9.
26
Wow.
to 9.
If that doesn't make you want to drink bleach, I don't know what will.
Or something.
Drink something. Not sure what, but something.
Wow.
Drink something.
Wow. Can we
It's a
drink?
staple in
Can
this household,
Can we drink
by
on
the
this
way.
podcast? Is this,
It looks like sweet tea,
Hey,
but it's
I
really
ran out
not.
of. Hey, by the way, I only put water in here because I ran out of red Solo cups. Where you know, they say the red Solo cup, you can drink it and say it's water. Oh, it's just
Right.
water and juice. But
Oh, I heard a story.
They call that a teacher cup.
I
They call
can't-
that a teacher cup.
I can't tell that story. So we got married on a
Tell that
whim.
story.
Got married on a whim. We knew we were going to get married, but we didn't know we were going to get married on that day.
Guess how we celebrated our wedding? Guess what we did on our wedding night?
what?
What'd you do?
We went to a second grade play at Gallatin Elementary School.
Station Camp Elementary, baby.
Station Camp Elementary.
We watched them. We watched them sing country music songs. That was our
They did.
Oh
honeymoon.
my gosh.
That was our wedding night festivities.
We know how to
Then
party.
we didn't tell anybody. We didn't tell a soul until because we
This
didn't want
tells
to tell
us all
anybody.
the spontaneity about how you guys.
Well, I want to say something
Go
though.
ahead.
I got to say this. So I love the two of you, and it's because when we met Aaron several years ago,
Yep.
he was so in love.
Yep.
He was.
He
It
was,
hadn't changed.
And he still is.
Hadn't changed.
I mean, what's
and
hello,
we are
it's not to
too.
love, right? No,
We
I'm
are
just
too.
kidding.
I was like, it's somebody like us, you know,
Yes.
like
Hadn't changed.
people in love, like we're in love, because we kind of did the same thing. We met 5 months later to the day. We were married.
Quick.
We didn't even. We went like to a pawn shop or some little store, grabbed some rings, and he told my parents, "Hey, we're getting
That
married."
wasn't a pawn shop.
Hey,
It looked
Hey,
like
it's okay.
a pawn shop.
It's okay.
We got ours on a cruise ship.
We got ours on a cruise ship. There's no judgment
that
here.
was my dad and
It-
said,
no
"Oh,
judgment
we're
here.
next week," and nobody's invited. It was just us. So
But babe, that really
we
wasn't a
did it.
pawn shop. That was actually a jewelry store. It just
kinda looked
wasn't.
like it.
It just wasn't very high end.
You think it's
It was a jewelry store,
Don't
and the
look.
clerk's name was Marco.
If you don't look over there, don't have the guns,
Don't run
Why
the
are
the
guns.
radio,s
We've been
Why is there-
with our game since then.
Yeah.
All the vintage artwork on the walls.
Why do
don't
they
worry
have an
about
air
any of that.
compressor in the floor, Jay?
So guys,
Sorry.
you guys are in love. How do you do real estate together? Like, do y'all divide and conquer? Do you do everything simultaneously? Like, do you try to go to one state, she's in another state? I mean, how
Well,
do you
because
do that?
You came into it. Y'all were both already in
Realtors.
real estate.
Both of y'all were
how,
realtors.
how did that
Absolutely.
work with the
Yeah.
competition?
And both really high producers. So
Yeah.
really high producers separately, like individual production. But how it works now, and it's it
Well,
just
we
isn't-
weren't really still produce. I mean, we were.
We were.
We could still produce because we still generate a good bit of business just off of our past clients and referrals. But we had gotten away. We had both before we met had gotten away from really being into. I mean, we still did some personal production, but it was more. We were focused on like the ownership piece of it. We had both opened offices and had offices that we were running. So the
you were
the personal
both
production
Big
piece.
person.
You were both what?
Both the big
I
dogs.
said you were both the big dogs. You know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but here's this is what makes this work so well.
Right.
There are times when we cross lanes, right? But I think what works, like when we originally met, I had offices in Kentucky and she had her offices in Georgia. And we originally met because she's so look at her. She's absolutely fantastic. She is so
He says that a lot.
She brings life into every room
But I'm
she
totally
goes.
kidding.
She brings life into every room she walks into. I mean, it's one of the first things I told her. You're just like a light. When you walk in the room, you're like sunshine.
Yeah.
So I was going to take her to Kentucky and let her start speaking the life in those agents that I had in Kentucky, and then I had a niche that I could go in and acquire companies and do that. So I was going to come to Georgia and help her with her business.
Right.
And
And
we
we
were
grow in my offices.
And we were going to. It was like a perfect little relationship. And that's kind of still how it runs now. There, she's got such
No,
a,
it's not. He's lying. That's not at all how it runs. We derailed like this. Like this was the
it's
plan.
like this. I mean, it's
Right.
like this
So
now.
so just
But-
to kind of
but
go back,
usually-
you talk about the lanes, right? And we do try to stay in our own lanes, but sometimes
It's
that,
so
that
hard.
other lane looks like so much more fun than what I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna hop over there.
Get in that lane.
Hey,
Oh,
Like, what do you got going on
but
over here?
hang on,
I think
but
I
hang
want to
on.
be
But
involved in
Jay,
that.
I'm sure you can recognize this because you want to ask the other question. that Ashley doesn't want you to ask. She says, Jay, stop. Shh. So sometimes when I get over into her lane, she'll do, Aaron, go back over on your side and do your stuff, right?
You have to.
And so, but it really is, it's sort of it's a dance. It really is a dance.
Great way to put it.
It is us just moving together and kind of flowing through the day. I try to, because of my personality style, I try to sometimes be very, very systematic and rigid in what I get done. I like being in the office. I like having my monitors and kind of my structure and do all that. And she could work out of the back of a truck. I mean, she'd literally work off the back of a car. I mean,
I really can't. Talk
Right?
about the differences in our personal business, right? So whenever when we first started kind of doing, like, if we have to go to a listing appointment or something, we normally go together, right? Not because of any reason other than we're normally like squeezing it into the middle of something, kind of like when you squeeze and get married. But it's a good thing we were both there, or that wouldn't have happened at that time either. We probably could have pulled it off if we needed to. I'm a problem solver. I like to think outside the box.
She can flat get it done.
It's fine. I'll get a POA. Awesome. I'll find a power of attorney to stand in your place at the wedding.
I just feel the energy with y'all. Like, I can tell y'all, when y'all are in a room together, y'all are laughing and having fun and going hard. You know, you're moving and shaking. And that's really, I'll tell you this, that's really great to see that. Like, it's almost like y'all are in sync with one another in that with the energy. And, you know, that's the way, I mean, me and Ashley are a little bit different in that, but we're still in sync, you know?
Right.
And I see so many couples, and this is a industry that will tear real estate as an industry will either tear a marriage into shreds, or it will bring you closer together. And it really, you know, some couples just aren't, it is a very demanding industry.
Right. So, and that's one thing that we actually do a lot of times when we've got agents, because of course you guys are, I mean, your model, your business model and our business models are a little different. So we're actually, you know, brick and mortar, in-person places. And, but even when we've got agents that are coming and talking to us about joining our company or whatever, we want to get a feel for that spouse. We need to get a feel for that significant other, because it's so important. Because in our company, we focus on the whole person.
Yeah.
We don't just focus on them in that role as a real estate agent. We focus on truly helping get them to be that best version of themselves all the way around, which then makes them a better mom, a better dad, a better wife, a better husband, a better anything you look at it, a better daughter, a better whatever, yoga partner, whatever you do, whatever it is they're doing. I don't do yoga. Can you tell? Do you have yoga partners?
She was searching for that word. She's like, a goat, a person.
I've seen goat yoga. It looks fun. I wouldn't do it, but it's fun. I've seen the Kevin Hart video where him and Khloe Kardashian went to a goat yoga or something one time. Anyways, it looked fantastic. Really. So, but together, I think that we can actually show couple. I mean, we've actually got several couples in our company who the wife was an agent, the husband did something else. He was, you know, he had the real job, right? So, but over the course of a couple of years, we've got two that and I don't mean their husbands had like jobs. I mean, good jobs. One of them was he's a captain. Yeah. He was the captain of the local fire department. I mean, the big dog. He was the big man on the totem pole. Then another one, he has a great job with a local EMC, the local electric corporation. And both of those husbands, the one has already, as a result of that transformation he's watched happen in his own wife's life, who was a kindergarten teacher. Okay. And she has blossomed into this real estate agent that because he was concerned because we sat down and met with them when she came to join our company. He was concerned. All I need her to be able to do is just replace her kindergarten teacher salary. And I'm like, okay, that's easy. Okay. If she'll honestly follow and do the things that we try to guide our agents to do, they'll get that. He has retired from the fire department, not because he's going to go into real estate full time, but because he kind of built houses on the side with his dad. And he has gotten to the point that he's willing to take that, because he was a high C personality. Had to know what the monthly, you know, everything. He had to have that stability.
Structured.
Right.
Couldn't leave it to chance. Right. And now he has taken that leap of faith to leave this fire department job that I never thought in a million years I'd see that happen. And now he's going to go and get his GC license, and he's going to get his real estate license. And so, and do that together. And then the other one we're watching, he's wanting to get his license. The other wife that her husband's doing it. And we're watching this happen. And I truly think, and we've never really had this conversation with them, but I think that they see us being able to make it work, even as many challenges. I mean, did you hear the part about 9 kids, 2 states? Okay.
We live 2 weeks apart.
4
right?
exes.
4 exes.
2 on each side.
two of which are better than me.
That's the part that I go, honey, we're gonna smile. We love everyone.
So I want to ask you. I know. Listen, I know. I don't know how much time we've got. We can do this all night long.
We can
I
literally
you.
do this all night long.
But I know y'all have another question to ask. But I want to ask this question because I want to go back to what you said a second ago. Why do you think this industry is so hard on couples?
Are we the ones asking the question?
This is a good exercise.
It's a great exercise.
Let me interview you.
We're flipping the script. Did you say Pam?
Is it Pam with an N?
But I think just based off of the story you just told, where I think some people have a hard time is if his wife then started being successful, her face is out there. She's doing great. She's feeling confident. She's growing as a person. Sometimes the other spouse gets intimidated by that. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the big hard things in a marriage about real estate. Not for everybody, but I think that is one of the things that's hard because people, that person is now the person. They're facing they're getting all this affirmation. Yeah. So I think that's one thing. And then another thing is I think the just the constantness of it.
Constant.
I kind of compare it to being also like when you go from being an hourly to being the CEO. It never stops. It
never stops. Right. You can't put your clock and turn it off and go home.
I'm working on it, and I think that's true, but I'm trying to. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe longer. I don't know, but it just kind of came to me on an airplane a couple of weeks ago. I really think the centerpiece of the issues, and I think it's the issue with couples. It's the issue with the industry. I think it's trust. I think it all boils down to that word trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's so many different facets to that word.
That's right.
Like I tell our agents all the time, I'm really, really good at what I do. And I think I'm probably one of the best real estate agents I've ever met. She's so much better than me. I mean, she is so much better than me.
I see what you did there.
I know. She is so much better than me. And I tell people that all the time. And it's so the days that because there are again weeks. Every other week we're apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm married to her and I can call her on the phone and she says, "Let me call you back." Bam. And it'll be 6 hours.
3 days later.
It'll be 6 hours before I hear from her again, right? Because she gets busy and gets tied up and going and going and going. And I know that in other situations, that'd be really hard. Like, what's she doing? Who's she with? Why is she there? What's going on? I mean,
especially if I'm a real estate agent and I say, "I'll call you back. I'm tied up. I'm doing so-and-so with so-and-so." And then 5 hours later, he hadn't heard back and he's sitting at his desk job going, "What's my wife doing? Where's she at?" Ping, 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 like constantly.
So what are some practical things that y'all have done that help with that or that could help some other people with that?
It's totally true. I mean, and that's where
authenticity, I think.
Authenticity is the only way to go. I mean, we are brutally honest to a fault sometimes. Like I'm serious. Like I'm a person that you do not ask me a question if you do not want the answer, like the real answer, because I promise you are getting it. Okay. I mean, and it's just because I'm not a sugarcoater. I'm just not. I've learned over time to say it with a little more love, and not maybe be so brutally honest. I have learned that some people can't. My son says I'm menacing. I can't imagine.
Menacing?
Literally menacing.
A Navy SEAL 2 weeks ago said she was intense. Navy SEAL, ex-Navy SEAL said, "You're pretty intense, aren't you?" Look at her.
Wow.
I'm like a teddy bear.
So
I'm like a puppy.
Look at this face.
Right? I'm just kidding. So last week at our office meeting, this conversation somehow comes up anyways, because I'm watching the time. So I know we're getting close, but it's about trust. It's about authenticity. It's about knowing. And so this is something I want to say, because I read a book, and my daughter-in-law, who was here earlier, one of the ones I think they were just trying to poke the bear just to see what they could do. I really think, but she commandeered a book that I read that I got from Natalie Bird. She wrote the book called Living with a Monster.
I'm glad you mentioned
and it talks about how do you, because it's not really just living with a realtor, it's living with anybody who your vibrations are a little different, who you've got one very, very, very driven person in the relationship, and one that kind of, and you're very complimentary in the relationship, but sometimes that really driven person can make the person that's not quite so driven feel left behind.
Yep.
Like they feel kind of discarded, right? Like you're talking about, you're sitting at dinner and you're having and the husband and wife are trying to have a conversation, and the phone rings, and you got to pick up the phone because you've been waiting on that call all day long, and they've just gotten free. So now it could be 2 more days, and if you don't take this call, so, and they feel like, but what they don't understand is, and I lived it and he lived it both separately in previous marriages, is that it's the mission, right? But what they don't understand is they're part of the mission. Like, we want them to be part of the mission. Absolutely. We want them to be part of the same direction we're going. And I had a conversation with one of my agents last week. And if you equate it to you're in a boat, you know how you can like hang the things off the side of the boat and create like a little bit of drag, or you can like, or even like the rudders on the boat. Like if it's turned even the slightest bit sideways, it's going to create drag. Whereas if it's perfectly in alignment, and even though it's not the same rudder, it could be 2 completely separate rudders. If they're not in perfect alignment with the perfect understanding of which direction we're going, it creates drag. So, and it creates conflict or tension in a marriage, or lack of trust, or you turn to someone else, right? I mean, all those things that happen, which we see that happen in the real estate business a lot. And so many times what people don't understand is it's not necessarily the driven person. It's the person who's not so driven, who feels like they're being left out, and they're either going to do something to create attention, to draw that attention to themselves by that partner, or they're going to do something to sabotage the mission, because they just can't get it through their mind that we're all going the same direction. And we really want you to be part of that.
What is that book called again? And who? That sounds amazing.
So it's called Living with a Monster. I'll send y'all a copy of it. So Natalie Bird. Yeah. It's Coach Michael Bird. If you know who that is.
Michael Bird. I love him.
Yeah,
it's his wife. Natalie wrote the book.
Yeah, his wife wrote it.
His wife wrote that?
Yeah, Natalie wrote the book. Because and Coach Burt really pushed Natalie to do that, because, and I'm telling you, the book's fantastic. I bought 20 copies. I called him last week and said, Aaron's coming through. He's going to stop at the lodge, pick up 20 copies of the book. I'm giving it to my agents who are very, 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 very driven. Okay. Because most of the time you're going to see a couple, most marriages have that person who's the risk taker, who's the driver. And then you got the one that stays back and makes sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And they're very complimentary. For people to meet us, even our personality expert with our company, Angel Tucker, who I learned personality so long ago. And I don't know if y'all do personalities there or not, but they will look at this relationship and say it'll never work. You'll never find 2 people that are that driven.
Yeah, so
you almost have to get, and the reason why is because those people that are super driven, they have just enough nuances that turn those rudders not perfectly aligned to create that drag. We are literally in parallel. We literally are like this. Mm-hmm. We lived parallel lives before we ever met. Parallel lives. Yep. Same exact situations going on. Parallel lives. Yep. And that's why we work so well. I truly think it is.
And Ashley, you asked something earlier, practical steps. I don't know if there's anything. This is one of those things you can't get. It's like there's no mechanics. There's no mechanics that you can do. You just dance. If you think about the dance moves, if you think about the dance moves, you're like an idiot, right? If you just get there and feel the music and just go with it, that's when you're in the groove. I mean, that's when it's happening, right? And so we can't think about it. But I believe it starts.
That's good stuff right there. Where'd you get that?
I think we talked about that. You might have
in his new book that's coming out.
But I think the key to this is, I say the golf swing. She calls it a dance. I like the dance better.
I even equate it to him playing golf, because when he's out there playing golf and he's thinking about it,
I'm awful.
It's horrible.
Awful.
He was in a qualifier about 6 weeks ago.
Easy,
I got to tell y'all the
easy.
story.
No,
I hope
easy.
whoever's listening can listen. I'll make it quick. He was in a qualifier.
We're
He
fine.
was
We really
focused.
time frame.
He was trying so hard to do well. Like he wanted to do this. Like he really wanted to do this.
You couldn't hit
I'm
one
not
off
even
the
sure.
box.
I'm not even sure. Oh,
he literally,
son,
I mean, this
it was
guy,
awful.
to watch him drive a golf ball is phenomenal. Like he is impressive. Like not just because, I mean, it's sexy watching him drive a golf ball. Seriously.
Wow.
It's good,
Well,
okay?
we gotta.
I mean,
We gotta go.
no,
We gotta-
no. Seriously.
I gotta take this. This is a small
He's-
window. I gotta go with this.
He's at this qualifier, right? And he's hitting these balls. I mean, it's like it's supposed to go that direction, and it went pew across the street. And
It was awful. It
he
was
gets
awful.
back in the golf cart. I'm like, these guys think you're here on like a Make-A-Wish Foundation trip or something. They're like, how the heck did this guy get here?
It was awful.
Oh my
It was
You're
awful.
just
It was so
thinking too
awful.
much.
But it's because he was trying too hard.
So-
he was trying too hard. He was trying to think about it too intentionally. It's a watch pot never boils,
Yeah.
right? It's all these things. It's true. When you if you just go and you just be authentic and you just do you can't go
Yep.
wrong. You can't
That's
go
right.
wrong.
And I think the other piece of that is we're kind of that dance. It starts here, right? So if I'm not confident in myself, and I'm not confident in who I am, and I'm not sure in my person who I am,
Right.
it's really going to be hard for me to trust her. It's going to be hard for me to be sure of who she is, right? And vice versa. Because she's so solid in herself, she looks at me and she's like, man, I'm good to go. You know, people say something to her, and she's like, I am not worried about that. I can assure you.
Right.
That's not my concern.
It was a lady tell me when at our rally we had a few weeks ago. She says there's this woman like constantly talking to him, and she's like, "Oh, honey, I'm not trying to do anything with your husband." And I'm like, "Honey, I promise you, never crossed my mind. I can assure you, I ain't worried about that. Carry on."
But it is so true about just
But it's
being
true.
confident in yourself. So like the very night me and Jay met, he was like, I'm never getting married again. I'm never
Oh,
even
man, I
dating
was-
again.
So
was-
when this is
I was
over with, I can tell you that story.
We can't tell that story.
You can't tell it on the podcast.
No, we
for
can't
sure.
tell that story in public. I will say this, Jay. There was the night we met, like
I thought you just said you weren't.
I'm not
gonna
telling.
say
I'm not. This piece. So the night we met, I actually uttered the same words. I said, "We cannot get married," and she's like, "Who's talking about getting married?"
What the heck are you talking about, dude? Sir, I'm sorry. Could you pull the car over? I need out. I got a stage 5
Check,
clinger
please.
here.
Check,
I need out.
Please, garçon,
But
check,
he
please.
was like, I'm never even dating again. Every girl changes. Every woman
I was
changes.
harsh.
And I was like, I said,
Have you seen the Hot Crazy Matrix?
I said, I'm not going to change. And he goes, oh, yeah, you will. All girls do. And I said, no, I won't, because I am who I am.
You're
And
correct.
you may not like me, and I might not like you. And I'm okay with that. Doesn't make us
Yeah.
bad people. And he was like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
And then my
Yeah,
brother's
what?
wife, and then my brother's wife, who's known me a long time, is behind me going,
Run.
look at Ashley going,
Run.
get away from him.
He's a train wreck.
Get away from him.
He's a
Don't
train
even
wreck.
Train
talk
wreck.
to him. But it worked out.
That's awesome.
So here's some good advice. Now this is all of our male children, they go through a class with this. But there's a YouTube video and it's called the Hot Crazy Matrix. So if you've never seen the Hot Crazy Matrix,
You've
Right.
never watched it?
you got to watch that tonight.
Y'all, you should hang out with us more
Y'all-
often. We're giving you all
Crazy
sorts of good information.
Y'all got to hang out with us more often. This is good stuff.
Yeah. Because I feel like me and Ashley are probably unicorns.
Yeah.
And that'll make sense to you in a little bit. So
Yeah.
congratulations,
It's
sir.
fantastic.
Congratulations. Now that your job to monitor and study and to make sure that
Try
you
to
can pass-
replicate it.
try to pass that on to the younger generations.
Okay, so your kids watch it. Are you telling
Oh
us?
yeah. Oh
No.
yeah.
Oh, it's mandatory. It's mandatory.
Mandatory.
Mandatory viewing
For
for
the male
any
children.
boys,
All the
for
male
any
children.
males. Yeah.
Well, I do
So
think like what y'all are saying is true for us four as couples,
Mhm.
because we are both very driven. We're adaptable. We,
Right.
don't get shaken easily.
Mhm.
We're very much risk takers. That was not the way that I was used to before.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You know, and so I think there are some practical things that, you know, we can do the dance. Like if you're in this type of relationship, we have had to figure that out. And like, if he's off his rocker, I got to figure out how to roll with that. Sometimes I'm out there and he rolls with it.
Right. And that's one thing too, Ashley, not to interrupt, but normally there's a lot of times that we're both up, right? And same thing with y'all. Y'all just vibrate at that level, and you vibrate and you feed off one another. There's some days that I'm down and he's there to pull me up, and there's some days that he's down and I'm there to pull him up. It's very rare that we're both down. And when that, I mean, it's not that it doesn't ever happen. That's when we just know we just need to probably just kind of sit in separate rooms for a little while. No, we don't fight. That's one thing we don't do is we do not fight or argue at all, which is odd because we're both so intense and driven. Same probably with you guys. It's just that the fights don't happen.
Yeah.
So
Would you say we fight at all?
I don't think we fight. I just like put you in your place.
Like she's quick fight. Let me explain something to you. When she pulls this finger out, okay, she's got long fingers. Show it. She can't even fake it.
I can't even do it
But
unless I'm actually that mad.
It's like she starts shaking the finger, and it's like a lightsaber coming at me. It's like,
Does it make no?
I mean, I'm scared of the finger.
right?
Yeah.
I had to, unfortunately, somebody that we did not know have to ask them to leave a party we were
Oh my
having the other
gosh.
night. And all the men afterward were like, your finger came out. And I
It
thought
was
he was
waving.
like, they were like, we were all scared.
I'm scared.
It made a noise. It made a noise like on a movie when the sword comes out of the shoe.
Yeah.
It was like the finger that's painted on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Is that what it is? Where the power and the
There we go.
God. It was the touch of Ashley.
So-
And they better run.
So I'm gonna, and I don't know how good I'll speak to this. So I'm gonna try, and I'm sure this will come to you as well.
Right.
This is what usually happens.
sure.
So to Ashley's point, what happens when they're not both this way, right? What happens when you're in that relationship where you do have that one person who's not as driven? You do have that one person who's not at that same vibration. You know, you do have that person sitting at home waiting on that phone call, or why are they gone again till 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night?
Yep.
You know, I think the practical part of that is the same practical part with any relationship. Unless there's some give and take,
Right.
you know, there's got to be some sharing. There's got to be some time where that phone call can wait till the next day. And I think realtors, because they're so flippant emotional about everything,
Right.
that phone calls that aren't that important become important. Like, oh my God, I got to take this phone call. And it was like, hey, so what are we doing tomorrow with this piece of paper? Right.
Yeah.
So I think there's some give and take where
Right.
that's
I
concerned. And I think even with driven people, there's a time when she's just Christy, where she's not this badass realtor who's just driving,
I try to tell him not to say any ugly
And-
words on the show.
and doing what she does, right? There's some times when she's just Christy and she's my wife and she's Zeke and Carson's mom, and she needs me to go there and sit on the couch and just hug on her.
Right.
Yep.
And I think being cognizant and aware of the relationship, being cognizant and aware of your partner, and not being so driven. People can still pay attention. You know, we're not horses. We don't have blinders on. They can still pay attention to you still have peripheral vision, and you can feel when things are wrong.
I'm the
Yeah.
best selective listener
You
you'll ever
need-
hear.
Also, the driven person needs to ask too. Like,
Well,
not just steamroll through life, needs to actually stop and ask. And the other person needs to also communicate, hey,
Communicate.
hey, you know what? I need some attention right now.
So I just finished a book called The Dream Maker, Dream Manager. If y'all have not read that book, it's here. I'm sure it's here in this
No,
pile of
not
books on the
me
table.
neither. Keep
Probably under the sock
heard of.
somewhere.
Do what now?
I said, keep hitting us with everything we've never heard of. Come on, bring
I'm
it.
sorry. Hey, this is a good thing. This
That's
is
what
good.
I love.
I'll tell you what, if you hadn't done this right here,
That one right there, you got to read that one too.
Dream maker.
have you done this?
The Infinite. This
This
is
is
the
the
Infinite
Infinite
Game.
Game by Simon Sinek.
But let me go back to my book.
I've heard somebody say something about that recently. Put all these in the
Fantastic.
comments, by the way.
That book is awesome. Okay. Can I write comments in here?
Not in here.
No, but we'll
Okay.
put it in
Yeah.
there.
There you go.
I'll
Dream
put them
Manager.
all in, and
So
Wow.
here's a simple little question. Hey, baby, what are your dreams? I mean, how many driven people take the time to look at their spouse and say, hey, what are your dreams? Because us driven people, I mean, hell, I got a book full of dreams. I got a book full of things that I'm chasing and going after. I've got things on my phone. I've got it on my wall. I mean, I've got a ton of things that I'm going after. But asking that question, hey, babe, what are your dreams? Right?
Wow.
That there's so much power in that question, because then you're taking the time to look in their soul and ask them to pull something out deep down inside. And that question, look, I got chills right now.
He does. He has chicken.
I literally have
chicken
chicken bumps
right
on my
now.
skin. That question is so powerful. It's so powerful because it looks in their soul and it pays them attention. It gives them, it asks somebody a question that nobody's ever asked them.
Yep.
What that also does is, then for the more driven person, is the answer is probably not what you would say is your dream. So it's also like hearing that and receiving that, and it may seem something like not even a big deal,
Right.
to me or to us, but making it a big deal, and then being like, okay, well then that's a priority.
Right. We're doing that.
Sometimes that dream is to get to bed before 1 a.m. and have to get back up again at 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's slide that back to 11 p.m.
Let's go to bed at 11:30.
5.
I'm gonna tell you what, the worst thing in the world to ever happen to us are good TV shows.
Right.
That's the worst thing in the world that could ever happen to us. I'm not joking, man.
Or what?
Good TV
Our
shows.
Good TV shows?
Good TV shows?
Yeah, because we will binge on them.
We have looked up. It's been 3 in the morning.
Because we don't watch TV much at all. I mean, the only time of day we get to watch TV is like late at night. After everybody's on bed, we've finished being on our computer for another 2 hours.
Nobody else to email.
And we'll turn on Peaky Blinders or Yellowstone, or maybe it's Friday Night Lights. It's normally a series that we're watching. And
does Aaron like The Bachelor? No.
I don't ever watch. I don't like reality shows like that. I mean, I personally
We're
don't.
gonna go watch The Bachelorette. That's our next move. Get in bed.
I don't even watch that. Like, I don't watch that. I don't watch any of that stuff.
Listen,
no, I like it. I like
He
it.
watched it before I watched it.
No,
he watches it because you watch it. Is that what it is? Ashley, he watches it with you.
Huh?
He watches it because you want to watch it.
We watch it together.
No. He watched it long before I ever started watching.
Babe, I actually didn't. You're actually wrong.
No,
I've seen it a couple of times.
Look, there it is.
There's the finger. There's the finger.
No.
Be careful with the finger.
I never rushed back to watch The Bachelor. When you came around, your girls liked it, and I started watching it, and I started going, let's watch The Bachelor.
Look, don't feel bad.
It's all
He
right.
likes Pitch Perfect now.
I
He
like
likes Pitch
Pitch
Perfect.
Get this. I turned it on the other night, and he came in. He was like, "You're starting it without me?
What?
What?" He was like,
What is wrong with you?
Woman.
Wrong with you?
That is so funny.
Well, guys,
That's
y'all,
awesome.
y'all are amazing, by the way.
Y'all
I
are.
have really enjoyed this. I mean, like, just hearing the passion that you guys have for each other and
life and
for
life
other
people.
and it's just
awesome.
y'all are amazing. You're fun. You're cool. I mean, we got to hang out more.
Absolutely. We definitely need to.
Absolutely.
We definitely have to do that.
And
Or y'all come down here and stay with us in Puerto Rico, and we'll go
come
play
on.
golf.
Come on. I'll let you.
Heck
Heck yeah.
Let's hit a ball in the Atlantic Ocean. How about that, Aaron?
Is that where y'all are at right now?
Let's
Is
hit
Puerto
the
Rico?
Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was wondering
okay.
how you were so sunshiny, Ashley. I was like, man, she's got a lot of tan. She got a good bronzer or what? She's in darn Puerto Rico. No wonder. That doesn't even count. That's cheating.
So, so let's wrap it up by
Okay.
asking you each individually just
Okay.
of one marriage tip. One tip. Just marriage in general, a tip.
Oh gosh.
I know it's
To
hard to
narrow
say.
that down to one.
One.
No.
We've said a bunch, but let's do just one that you'd like to end
One
on.
marriage tip. For me, and I'm just going to speak to somebody who's driven, right? Somebody who is that driven, dominant, very dominant female, strong female, is let him lead. Let him lead. Let him lead. Because there's so many times that I feel like, and we see this happen a lot. There's so many times that for a man, it's in their inner innate. It's who you were made to be. I mean, it's who God created us to be. Is to be that for the man is to be that leader, is to be the protector of the family, and for a woman, it's to be that helpmate. It's to be the one. I said this so many times when Aaron and I first met, that I knew the minute I met him, and we knew this was going to be a thing we were doing moving forward, that was where I knew I had found my place, and what I was here for was to be that backbone and that support for I mean, because a person can't stand without a backbone. And sometimes that backbone is not the visible up front. It's the person who's behind them and being their biggest cheerleader, and is also willing to be that critic, as long as you say it with love. And he knows that there's times that I'm not always like, ooey gooey, but it always comes from a place of pure love, pure
That's
love,
awesome.
and only for the best of intention, and not from a place of selfishness, and not from a place of trying to knock somebody down. So that's what I would say from
awesome.
a woman, from a driven woman, is to let him lead.
Aaron?
And I think mine's always make her shine. Always make her shine. She's always going to shine. I don't care what kind of day she's having. I don't care what's going on at home. I don't care what's going on, wherever it's going on. She's always going to shine. I told her that when I first met her, that her light's so bright, and that she's the sunshine in any room she walks in, and my job is to keep her dusted off and keep that light bright and shining.
It's
So
true.
that's what I do.
Okay, Jay, what's
It's
your?
true.
Mine is,
Yeah.
you know what?
We always try to give one to you.
You know what? Mine is like, and this is recently, like, I always tell you, you're the most beautiful woman in the world.
He does.
But I need to tell you, like, every time I think it. Like, I think it every time I look at her, but I don't
Yeah.
say it
like
every
when
time
I
I
walk
look
through
at
a
her.
room naked and you don't say anything, and I'm like,
Babe, and I do love that, okay? But, like, you know what? Look, what it is I honestly, I can tell you.
How'd that.
It's like you didn't want to wear your heart pants, but they're so cute.
No, like, I think we get so busy sometimes that I'm like trying to be really intentional to say,
you are doing.
you
do
are
a great
beautiful,
job.
and
do a
you
great
make me
job.
happy, and I say it. Now I think it all the time, Aaron. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
You think it every second that you look at her, you think it, but we gotta say it.
Yeah. But you know what? And I'm gonna jump in here because this happened just last week. Because I do this. Again, my job is to make her shine, right? But she hears it from me so much
Yeah.
that sometimes she just thinks I'm supposed to say it because I'm her husband. And we had a bunch of our agents that kind of wrote these letters about her. And I mean, it just completely crushed her. She's like, "Oh my gosh!"
I mean, it was.
I hear you say this all the time, but
I
to
cried for 2 days.
But to hear
Like,
them,
it was
to
just,
hear them say this, she was just like, "Oh my God, it's so fat." I mean, it's just like unreal. So I get it. But I mean, that is our job. Our job is to build up our wives, make them shine, and put them on that pedestal that they deserve to be on.
Love it. What's yours?
What's yours, Ashley?
Okay, my tip for tonight is, so Jay is very, he gets a lot of attention, a lot of accolades, all well-deserved. And a lot of times he'll say he's great, and
What?
you are, and you are.
Yeah, it's
It's kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
kind of a big deal.
Okay,
I have no
I
idea.
have many leather-bound books.
My office smells of rich mahogany.
So here's the thing, and he does build me up, and he's so awesome about that. A few months ago, we had a day with Tony Robbins, and I just told him this recently. So one of my 90-day things was to give him 4 compliments a day. Be intentional about me giving him 4 compliments a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So
Have you been doing that?
yes.
They get all mixed in with all the compliments he gives himself a day.
Every time you walk in naked, I forget what you say.
I'm like,
I completely lose it. I go
good.
blank. I almost black out. And,
good.
Lord.
You did so good hiring that, Zach Galifianakis lookalike.
Yeah.
You did so good finding that. Like, I'm complimenting him not just on how he looks, but also how he handles business, because it is a big thing. As they say, women want love and men want respect. And
Yeah.
so
Right.
it's really important for us as
You're always
women
sweet.
to also
She's always
compliment
sweet.
our husbands a lot.
Right. Well,
Well,
I think kind of the good job hiring the Zach how do you say it again? Zach
Galifianakis.
Galifianakis lookalike. That's like 2 compliments in one. Like you hired a good guy, but then he also looks like Zach Galifianakis. I mean,
Yeah,
That's like a 2-for-1.
That's two right there. You just mark two off your list. That's what I call working smarter, not harder, girlfriend.
I love
Work
it.
smarter,
I
not
love
harder.
Well, guys, we have loved being
We
on
have
this.
loved
You
it.
guys are amazing. You guys
Y'all
just
are.
radiate
Well, thank you.
love and I just, you know what? I'm just excited. I can't wait to go. Let's go kick it one night somewhere. Y'all would be fun to just go kick it.
Oh, I promise you. I promise you.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
I promise you it's going to be good.
All right. Thank y'all.
Episode. Here's how we end every episode. Everybody's got to
All
do
right.
the
I
heart.
had never done this little heart thing before.
I
You
didn't
got
either.
to do the
You
heart.
do heart.
And
Do the
then
heart.
on the count of 3, y'all
You got to kiss.
Y'all kiss each other and we kiss each other.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's
Okay.
on
Oh,
screen.
cool.
kiss.
What do we do with our hands? Do we got to keep our heart in place?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Mwah.
On screen kiss. Married
Love
to a
Married to
realtor.
We love
Love
you.
Aaron
it.
and
Bye,
Christy
y'all.
Bye.
And
Thank
Love you
you.
guys. Thanks for being
Love you.
on.
See you
and,
later.
awesome.
Thank you guys. Y'all are amazing. And I know you've helped a lot of people that were watching tonight. So thank you
Thanks
guys.
for having us on.
Yeah,
We
thanks for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
See you,
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Good luck,
Bye.
everybody.